I opened my eyes in a daze and found myself back in my senior year of high school.
What kind of teacher are you? Ignoring the reasonable requests of parents like this. My daughter is a top student, and if she doesn't get into a prestigious university because you didn't change her seat as I asked, I'll make sure you pay for it.
My mom glared at my homeroom teacher, Emma Johnson, as if she was ready to devour her.
I'm really sorry, Mrs. Miller. I'll see what I can do.
Emma Johnson's face turned beet red, sweat pouring down her face as she nervously wiped it away with her chubby hands. Ever since I transferred to her class, my mom, Christine Miller, had been relentless.
You don't understand. My daughter needs to be in the best possible position to succeed.
Christine was obsessively determined for me to get into a good university. She often told everyone that she could have gone to college herself, but her sister and brother prevented her from doing so. When she received her acceptance letter from a teacher's college, the atmosphere at home froze. Being the second child, with an older sister and a younger brother, her family, who were poor, decided that she should work to support her siblings' education. Her sister excelled academically and often received scholarships, while her brother was the only son. Over the years, Christine worked tirelessly, harboring a deep desire for success. What she couldn't achieve, she forced upon me. Since my birth, she worked multiple jobs, made my dad quit his easy warehouse job for dangerous construction work, which led to his early departure from my life, and poured all the money into my tutoring. Every time I attended a new school, Christine would rent a place nearby to supervise my studies. During the crucial senior year, she insisted on making me the only day student in the entire school. She even took a job as a cleaner at my school to monitor my every move. She would appear anywhere I was, interrupting my conversations with friends and ordering me to study. If any male classmate talked to me for more than 3 sentences, she would say, "You little rascal, behaving badly at such a young age. Do you want me to call your parents?" Her actions left me isolated at school, with no one willing to befriend me. The issue of changing seats was not new. Whenever I got close to a desk mate, Christine would demand a change. In my previous life, she would earnestly tell me, "Don't take school relationships too seriously, especially among girls. Any little conflict can distract you from your studies." I used to believe she had my best interests at heart. Looking back now, I realize she not only deprived me of my right to make friends but also tried to control my thoughts completely. Under the astonished gazes of everyone, I walked up and put my arm around my mom. Previously, I would cower like a frightened chick at the sight of her.
"Mom, you're being unreasonable. My current desk mate is the top student in the entire grade, and my seat is neither too far in the back nor too close to the front. It's perfect for seeing the blackboard and thinking clearly."
But your desk mate is a boy. Who knows if he might?
"Mom, don't you trust me? I've grown up and understand your situation. I won't think about things I shouldn't at this stage. I want to study hard."
Christine was temporarily appeased, but getting her to agree to me sitting next to a boy was still a challenge. Back home, I laughed as I looked at the letters in my drawer, all showing signs of being resealed. I knew Christine had a habit of reading my private letters and diaries, so I had preemptively swapped the contents. The fake diaries and letters were filled with how I realized my mother's hard work and my determination to study hard. No parent could read that without tearing up.
Sophia, come out for dinner. I talked to your homeroom teacher about the seating arrangement, and for now, it won't change. Focus on your exams, that's the most important thing.
"Got it."
It seemed the seating arrangement was settled. Christine Miller was temporarily appeased, but convincing her to let me sit next to a boy was still a challenge.
"Back home, I laughed as I looked at the letters in my drawer, all showing signs of being resealed." I knew Christine had a habit of reading my private letters and diaries, so I had preemptively swapped the contents. The fake diaries and letters were filled with how I realized my mother's hard work and my determination to study hard. No parent could read that without tearing up.
Sophia, come out for dinner. I talked to your homeroom teacher about the seating arrangement, and for now, it won't change. Focus on your exams, that's the most important thing.
Got it.
It seemed the seating arrangement was settled. Her temples were graying, and she walked with a slight tremble. She had aged, and for a moment, I truly felt it.
Mom, come meet my classmates. Let's walk around the campus.
I held Christine Miller's hand and guided her around.
Mom, I've secured a permanent position as an intern reporter at XX TV station. My future work will be based in City A.
Sophia, you've been away from home for many years. Why don't you come home and rest for a while before starting your job?
I had planned a graduation trip with my classmates, but seeing Christine Miller's eager eyes, I quickly softened. I boarded the train home with Christine Miller. After countless transfers, my eyes felt heavy with sleep. When I woke up, I groggily looked around at the familiar environment. I was finally home. I tried to stand up but heard a rustling sound. Looking down, I saw that my hands and feet were bound with chains, and the desk in front of me was covered with materials for obtaining a teaching certificate.
Mom! What are you doing?
Mom has looked into it. Becoming a teacher just requires a teaching certificate. Your degree from a top university will give you an advantage. Study hard, and you'll definitely pass. I've already called to decline the job offer in City A, just focus on preparing for the exam at home.
She brought hot food and placed it in front of me.
Don't worry, Sophia. These chains were custom-made not to interfere with your writing or reading. The length is just right for you to reach the water dispenser and the bathroom.
Disgusting. You have no idea how hard I worked for that job. My efforts were dismissed with a single sentence.
I threw the food in her face, rice and vegetables sticking to her.
See? This is why I have to keep you restrained. Only then will you listen.
I suddenly realized, recalling all the past events, that I still had hope for Christine Miller. I wanted to slap myself for being so naive.
Mom, you forced me. If you insist on pushing me to the brink, I can't afford to be soft-hearted anymore.
With trembling hands, still in cuffs, I wiped away the last tear. A fire ignited within me. I pretended to be studious, creating the illusion that I wanted to study hard.
Mom, I need a lot of money for full courses in every subject, and I want the best teachers. The interview courses and materials will cost around $10,000.
Why so much?
Using the excuse of maintaining my brain's learning state, I made Christine Miller buy expensive seafood for me daily and high-priced supplements. Christine Miller didn't have a stable job and soon ran out of savings. But if she continued to work part-time, she feared I would slack off. A smile crept onto my lips. It seemed the fish had taken the bait. This peace didn't last long. Soon, Christine brought home a technician who looked like he was there to fix something.
Please sign this consent form, ma'am.
He swiftly installed the surveillance cameras Christine needed to monitor me while at work. From then on, whenever I got sleepy or distracted, she would shout at me through the cameras, her voice carrying a mechanical tone that scared me every time. The day of the teaching qualification exam came quickly. Christine seemed more nervous than I was.
Do you have your ID and admission ticket? Check your pens to see if they need refills. Never mind, just bring a few extra pens to be safe.
She turned and rummaged through my room. Christine drove me to the exam venue and briefly returned my phone. As soon as I turned it on, I was bombarded with messages, but one stood out the most.
Sophia, come to the hospital quickly. Uncle John is in critical condition and wants to see you one last time.
I felt the world spinning around me as the teacher urged.
Those who haven't entered the exam room, hurry up. The exam starts in 5 minutes.
I walked into the restroom and pulled out another set of clothes from my backpack. I had no intention of taking the exam. I planned to escape today.
Christine was likely watching me from the school gate. I had to blend in with the crowd after the first exam. I rushed to the hospital entrance, where Aunt Mary grabbed my hand and hurriedly led me inside. Her face was pale, clearly from lack of sleep for several days.
Sophia, I called your mom so many times, begging her to let you see Uncle John one last time. You know he loves you the most. He held on just to see you. Hurry, child.
Years ago, my grandparents' decision to allocate college spots caused a rift between my mother and the family. She didn't save money for my aunt and uncle's tuition and cut ties with the family early on. Later, my aunt and uncle, feeling guilty, found Christine at her factory. Christine pretended to reconcile but secretly sought revenge.
Your uncle must have taken bribes. Look at how well your aunt dresses.
But Aunt has a good job too.
If I had gone to college, I could have married a good man too.
She used an incident from Uncle John's youth, where he fought off bullies and ended up in the police station, to accuse him of being violent, ruining his tutoring business. My aunt's husband wanted to sue Christine, but my aunt stopped him, leading to a complete break in our relationship with her. But Uncle John continued to treat me well. When other kids played outside, and I was locked up by Christine, it was Dad and Uncle John who secretly took me out to play. Whenever I got bad grades, Christine would scold me and threaten more if I didn't improve. Only Uncle John and Dad would ask,
"Does it hurt, Sophia?"
After Dad left, Uncle John cared for me even more. Despite having his own family to support, he gave me the tuition for my 4 years of journalism school without hesitation. My first camera was also a gift from him. I ran to Uncle John's side, where he was surrounded by tubes and machines, with many doctors around. Seeing this, tears streamed down my face.
My dear Sophia, you've grown so beautiful.
Uncle John, I'm sorry. Sophia is late.
Unexpectedly, he started coughing, and soon blood gushed from his mouth.
Cough. Sophia, you must understand your mom, listen to her, and apologize for me. Uncle John can't stay with you and your mom anymore.
Doctor! Doctor! Save my uncle!
The doctors tried to resuscitate him, but one turned to me and said,
"I'm sorry, the patient has passed away."
I felt all my strength leave me. Aunt Mary's eyes were wet as she looked at me, and we leaned on each other for comfort. Suddenly, a strong force lifted Aunt Mary and punched her twice in the face.
What's so great about that Michael Brown? If he wants to leave, let him go. Why are you bothering my daughter?
Because I don't want Michael Brown to leave with regrets like your Mr. Smith. What kind of mother values exams more than a life? When Mr. Smith passed away, you were still with your child during the exams. Poor Mr. Smith didn't even get to see his child before he died, without a single loved one by his side.
Do you know how selfish you are?
Mr. Smith was heartbroken, and your Sophia was also sad. Can you stop thinking only about yourself?
My Sophia got into a prestigious high school because of that. You should worry about your own 3 lazy kids instead.
The weight of these words was immense.
I miss seeing my dad for the last time because my mom deliberately didn't tell me before my exams.
But Christine had told me that the incident happened after my exams, and I missed seeing my dad because I went out to play with friends after the exams.
Did my dad's life have to make way for your plans? That was my dad, my dad. Do you know how guilty I feel for not seeing him?
All you talk about is your dad and your uncle. What's so great about two dead people? You have an important exam coming up, and you're not going. Just wait until we get home. If you dare to bother my daughter again, I'll make sure you join your husband.
Aunt Mary wanted to follow, but I blinked at her, signaling her to stay calm. I had my own plans, and she didn't need to worry about me. Christine dragged me home and pushed me inside, causing my forehead to hit the corner of the table, leaving a sticky liquid.
Why? Why didn't you let me see my dad for the last time?
I don't understand why you wanted to see him. I already have you. Whether he's here or not doesn't matter. Do you really think working multiple jobs would have made our lives better? It's better that he's gone. The compensation can help you continue your private lessons.
The thought sent chills down my spine.
Enough! Christine, you've gone too far. I'm Sophia Anderson, not you. Why did you give me such a terrible name? Just so I could fulfill your dreams? But I'm an independent person with my own will. I'm not a tool for achieving your life goals. I can't breathe. You're a madwoman.
Before I could finish, Christine slapped me hard.
Sophia Anderson is Christine Miller. You are me. I want to be a teacher, I want to succeed, and I don't want to be looked down upon. If I couldn't achieve it, can't you at least help me?
You don't deserve to be a mother.
This completely enraged her. The next second, her fists rained down on my head, abdomen, hips, and legs. In her fury, she even picked up a vase to smash it on me. In my daze, I heard her mutter,
Sophia, if you're so disobedient, I don't have the energy to waste on you anymore.
The next day, when I woke up, my wounds had been crudely treated, and I was dressed in a white dress.
Sophia, come eat.
Christine called out cheerfully, as if she hadn't beaten me the night before. She was used to my weakness and compliance.
I sat down, looking at the familiar bowl of chicken soup laced with medication. I realized she wanted me to have another child. No wonder she was so diligent. I sat down and took a few bites of food, then said I was full and wanted to leave, but Christine pressed me down.
Sophia, there's still soup.
No, no. If this soup stains my white dress, it won't be good. I'll go change.
I'll get you a jacket to cover up first, so you can drink the soup.
As she went into my room, I quickly mixed our soups together. I took the jacket Christine handed me and sipped the soup, grimacing.
Mom, this soup tastes weird. It's not good at all. You haven't even had a sip. I don't want to drink it.
See, it tastes fine. Now drink up.
I don't want it.
Christine raised her hand to force the soup down my throat. In the struggle, half the soup spilled on me.
See? You insisted I drink it, and now I'm covered in it. I'm going to take a shower.
I rushed into the bathroom and took out the emetic I had hidden in the toilet tank. I turned on the shower to cover the sound of my vomiting. When I was done, Christine was already unconscious. I prepared a grand meal. Time to invite the guest. Downstairs, Tom Harris was still in his usual spot. He was the homeless man who had assaulted me in my past life.
What? Honey, you went out without your keys? Luckily, I left a spare under the mat in room 304. I've made delicious chicken legs. Hurry back before they get cold.
Christine's neighborhood was an old area with lax security. Tom Harris had been around for years, and his hands weren't exactly clean. Seeing Tom's eyes light up and him running in the direction I came from, I couldn't help but smile.
Mom, if you want a child so badly, have one yourself. Don't worry, with a homeless man, the child will definitely take your name.
Christine was temporarily appeased, but getting her to agree to me sitting next to a boy was still a challenge.
At home, I laughed as I looked at the letters in my drawer, all showing signs of being resealed. I knew Christine had a habit of reading my private letters and diaries, so I had preemptively swapped the contents. The fake diaries and letters were filled with how I realized my mother's hard work and my determination to study hard. No parent could read that without tearing up.
Sophia, come out for dinner. I talked to your homeroom teacher about the seating arrangement, and for now, it won't change. Focus on your exams, that's the most important thing.
Got it.
It seemed the seating arrangement was settled.